It's John S. Sports Channel back with Championship Week 22 review. Let's go to the Friday game, Luton Town versus Derby, and Luton Town came from behind, didn't they? Came from behind. Um, I think up to that point where Derby scored, it was sort of even Stevens to me. Um, After that, I think Luton just edged it, getting a little bit further, a little bit more confident as the game went on. Some of those shots were a bit haphazard at the beginning, but then they became a little bit more fiery, a lot more bend in them, and you could see how they were doing. They were doing their best to get back into it and win it. Um, did Luton Town deserve a 2-1 win? Absolutely. I think that Derby County's goalkeeper made some really good saves. I think Luton Town's defence and goalkeeper defended and stopped those the Derby County team getting any more. So both defences did absolutely brilliantly. I just think that the shots and the class up front really started to show now, and from Luton, and perhaps they can move on from here, and perhaps they can show that they really do have an outstanding team. Look at the table now. We have Luton in 15th on 25 points and Derby in 16th on 24 points. And I tell you what, Cardiff are 22nd on 18 points. We're starting to see a nice gap between them. And, you can't see what all the worry was about now, can you? Stats, Luton Town 53%, 18 shots, pretty good. 5 shots on target, yeah, and 2 goals. They'll be really happy with that. They'll be happy with the number of shots and the quality of shot. Derby County 47% possession, 10 shots, 3 on target, 1 goal. They won't be too disappointed with that. I think that they came up against a side that was really solid, and once the Luton crowd actually started to get involved, I think that extra man really did count. I think it took a little bit of time, certainly from the Sky Sports commentaries. It seemed that the Luton Town, I'll say that much, seemed as if the Luton Town crowd just took a little bit of time to warm up, especially when they went behind. Didn't quite get behind the team from the off. However, they really did when they started to show that they intended doing well. So 2-1. What did we say? There was plenty of people who did say 2-1. Lots of gold stars out there. I went with the sitting on the fence of 1-1, so we didn't get anything for that one. we'll go to the Swansea versus Swansea away at Hull City, shall we? And see what we did with that one. Hull City 2, Swansea City 1. It says João Pedro 34 minutes. It was actually an own goal, and it was a really. I think that deflection that the Swansea player put on that was really cruel. You could see the goalkeeper going down to one way, and the ball just deflected completely just the opposite direction, not completely. But he's already moving the other direction. He can't get back that way. So, 2-1. Swansea scored 2. Hull scored 1. However, it's 2-1 to Hull City. A decent game. I enjoyed it. It was quite a good match. Quite end to end. Swansea City had 58% of the game. Only 8 shots though. I know 2 on target. They'd have been a bit annoyed that they only got 8 shots at target. But the defence was just too resilient and too packed at the back for Hull City. They just weren't getting through it. 42% possession to Hull, 12 shots, 5 on target. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. Not quite enough final third possession to really be a really enjoyable game, but it was good to watch. And I think the 7 shots on target for the entire game really does sort of show that neither team really wanted to lose this one. And when you sort of look at 24th position Hull, 10th for Swansea, you can see why Hull City just thought, oh, we just can't afford to lose it. So let's just put as many people at the back. Just make sure we don't let one in, guys. And it worked, but it also stopped the shots completely for the entire game. However, it worked in their advantage. Hull City 2, Swansea 1. We said the opposite way. We said Hull City 1, Swansea 2. So it was the opposite way round. Well, it was actually that way round with the number of goals. It's just that one was actually an own goal, not Joe Pedro's. So we'll move on because yeah, I think that was about fair, really. I think Hull found their niche here of how to grind out a result, didn't they? Next one, Portsmouth versus Coventry, and Coventry should have won this one, shouldn't they? Surely they did. Well, as we all know, they didn't. Portsmouth won it 4-1. Now, Coventry took the lead, and I tell you what, at that point, the Coventry fans were going nuts, and they were really enjoying it. They were smelling a massive win here. Yeah, new manager bounce, bang! They're gonna do brilliantly, aren't they? Darn it, they didn't quite. Yeah, Portsmouth had an idea here to try and scupper this. Um, and I don't think it was far long before the first Callum Lang goal on 14 minutes, but Portsmouth just turned, and they just realised that if we're gonna win, we need to step the game up. And I think it was just before that 14-minute goal, you could see almost like a switch, and they started to keep the ball, and they started to do really well when they kept the ball. Admittedly, they only got 44% possession, 12 shots, 7 on target, 4 goals. That is amazing ratio, 7 on target, 4 goals. 12 shots from 44% possession. Yeah, okay. It's an average, I suppose. But with the quality of play that they were doing, yeah, you would have probably expected 1 or 2 more to that. I think that there was plenty of chances for Coventry to shoot. 56% possession, 7 shots, 3 on target. They just didn't seem to. They didn't seem to get into a good enough position to shoot, and then they'd sort of like back heel it and pull it back a bit, and getting in there but going the wrong way when they got in. And a lot of the Coventry fans, I've seen a couple of the Coventry fans' videos, they were just astounded at the fact that the defence just seemed to go AWOL and just let Portsmouth in. But on the obverse side, if you look at the Portsmouth fans' videos, they really did see a Portsmouth side that played completely different to what they have been playing. This side wanted to win. Well, after the sort of 11th, 12th minute, up to that point, it was all Coventry. But then Portsmouth suddenly turned and thought, we'll try and win this one. We said 1-1 because a lot of people saying, well, a couple of people saying a draw. The rest of you saying it would be a Coventry walkover. In the end, it was a walkover. But for Portsmouth, on the day, Portsmouth were the better side. On the day, Portsmouth deserved the 4-1 win. Perhaps it was a bit overdone. I mean, I think 4-1 is a bit much. I think 3-1 would have probably been a little bit fairer. I don't think it was quite the walkover that 4-1 makes it look like. However, my local football club is Portsmouth, so I've got to be nice, otherwise I've got to walk out and they'll tell me I'm talking a load of rubbish and beat me up. No, they won't. Yeah, a good day for Portsmouth, not so good for Coventry. I think that Coventry just, that defence just had a bad day, didn't it? It's not usually like that. There were in the papers, and I didn't hear it in any of the in any of the commentaries that I saw. But the papers were saying there was a little bit of you're getting sacked in the morning. Now I can't believe that for 1 minute, and I don't know if it actually happened because I didn't hear any of it myself, and I've been listening to several different videos. So yeah, it's strange how the papers managed to hear it, probably from one fan in some corner somewhere, and then they've made it out that it was around the entire stadium. Let's move to Sheffield Wednesday versus Stoke, because this one was going to be quite interesting because you've got Sheffield Wednesday in ninth, who were thinking, if we win this one, we can actually start getting up into the playoff places and try and push for the playoff places. Against a Stoke City side is 17th that just can't afford to lose this one. So let's have a quick review and let's see how it really turned out, because I thought it was going to be quite a difficult game. We said 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday, so Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 1. It was actually Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 0, so we actually get a good result here. But let's just have a look at the game in more detail. Let's just say that was a penalty for Stoke City. That was absolutely a handball, wasn't it, by Bannon? I mean, let's come on. He did the Superman trick and pushed it out. It's almost as bad as the Argentina goal. Sheffield Wednesday 2, two identical fouls by Bernard. What on earth was he thinking he was doing? And they were just reckless, both of them, weren't they? Really, leaving his foot out and tagging the back leg. Okay, it was a trailing leg from the Stoke players both times, but he asked for it by letting his foot, leaving his foot out to try and trip him up in the first place. So a little bit 50-50, but he did deserve it. Sheffield Wednesday 40% possession, 6 shots at target, 4 shots on target, 2 goals. I said, just need to be shooting more, and some of the shots were haphazard and lackluster. Smith, I thought, I didn't actually like any of his shots. I mean, it was just like a couple of them he mishit, and they were just garbage. How they came away with the win, I'll never know. Stoke City had some great chances and they just didn't take them, did they? 15 shots at target for their 60%. Pretty good. Perhaps a bit more for 60% needed. 4 of those on target, which isn't really enough for a side in the top half. No goals, though, which is a little worrying. They just didn't seem to have that final quality. Did Sheffield Wednesday deserve to win it? Yes, absolutely. Would it have been different if the penalty had been given that should have been won? We'll never know, will we? Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke, 10-man Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke City 0. We said Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 1. So we get a correct result, and we can move happily on to Burnley versus Watford. Burnley 2, Watford 1. Watford coming back with a decent goal there. That first goal, though, talk about a mishit. I mean, I tell you what, they all count, don't they? If they go in the net, they count, and the Burnley fans will be happy that it went in the net. Not a very good goal, not a classic. I don't think the game was a classic, to be quite honest. There was a lot of shooting with no real intent, and people would be saying, but Burnley were always going to win it, and they had loads of shots, and you're missing the point. Yeah, but both sides' shots were pretty okay. I know I can't do as good as that before you start saying it, but if you paid that much, you really should be hitting them a little bit more cleaner. And there were a lot of very poor shots in that game. 15 shots for Burnley, 5 on target, 2 goals. They did a job, which is, that's about all I can say for it. Watford, 45% possession, 9 shots. Yeah, a little poor. 2 on target, um, 1 goal. You know, I really can't say much about the game. I found it okay. Not a great game to watch. Certainly not one that I would be as a neutral. Not one I would be trying to pay to watch. But um, Burnley are showing that they can play good passing football. They just now need to be able to tidy up that final ball. I keep saying that, but um, getting more into the box, getting more shots is absolutely critical for them. That final ball this time, though, has been all season really, really good, really critical. This time, they just lost that clinical edge that they've had all season. A few goals a few shots on target, most of them going in the net. Yeah, and I suppose it's again, it's happened again. 5 shots on target, 2 goals. However, the class of the goals and the technical quality of the goals to me just didn't quite sing as much as they have all season. So Burnley 2, Watford 1, probably probably the correct result. We said Burnley 1, Watford 1. Let's go on to Cardiff versus Sheffield United, because yeah, we really thought this was going to be a one-way match. I don't think we really thought, none of us thought it was going to be a runaway, but 1-0, 2-0 was all we got from this one. We said Cardiff 0, Sheffield United 2. It was Cardiff 0, Sheffield United 2. Correct score, correct result. And realistically, I think Sheffield United played relatively well. They controlled the game. They tried to get into that final third and be able to sort of get it into a position where they could shoot with a good conversion rate. And I think that was the problem, because they had 608 passes to Cardiff's 377, 61% possession of play, 39 to Cardiff. Yet they only shot at target 12 times and on target 5. Now, they had the ball and they passed it brilliantly and they got it forward, but just couldn't get that final quality ball in, and then they'd pull it back and push it across to the other side and see if they could probe down the other wing or down the middle sometimes. So it was a good game tactically to watch. The tactician element of it was really quite interesting to see how they were trying to just nibble away at this solid Cardiff defence, and I really do think it was solid. Cardiff have a lot to be proud of. That defence was really good, and I enjoyed watching this. Like they're really annoying Sheffield United, front line. I will get killed now for that, won't I? Sheffield United's front line, because they kept having to come back and go back in and try and work it out. In the end, 2 goals for Kiefer Moore, and it was one of those games where you're like, it's gonna come. Let's just wait for it. It's gonna come. It's definitely gonna come. And we had to wait till 65 minutes and then 73 to get a goal. It's like, well, it was coming. It just took a lot longer than we thought. Cardiff 8 shots, not very good. 2 on target, no goals. They on a different day they could have got both those in the net, and it could have gone 2-2. As it was 2-0 Sheffield United. We said 2-0. Great result, correct score. Yes, let's go to Leeds versus Oxford. And this definitely didn't go the way that Oxford wanted it, did it? Now, we have to say Oxford were quite poor. Quite poor. This wasn't a side that I've seen play. They collapsed, and they collapsed big time. Leeds just ran this game from start to finish. It was from the very very beginning. James scoring on 9 minutes to Solomon on 73. It was almost a shooting practice. I have seen games that have been a better shooting practice games. However, it was almost what I would call a shooting practice game. We said Leeds United 4, Oxford nil. Guess what? What odds would we have got on this? It was Leeds United 4, Oxford nil. I would have got a killing on the betting app, wouldn't I? But let's just see whether it was a walkover. I mean, 69% possession to Leeds, 23 shots at goal. Ouch! 9 of them on target, which is it's really good. I'm saying reasonably almost there because when you're talking about the top 2 positions in the league, you really are you should be getting probably half of those shots at target should be on target. So they're probably slightly behind if they want to be going into the Premier League and not coming back down again. So they'll probably be slightly disappointed that they're at 9 of those at target on target. On the other hand, Oxford 6 shots, 0 on target, 0 goals. Obviously, it was always going to be one way. I'll share my gold star with all those people, and there were a couple that said 4-0. And we'll go to Millwall versus Blackburn. Now, we said Millwall 1, Blackburn 2, thinking that, this was going to be one of those games where things just edged towards Blackburn because they've had the run of the green for so long, but they didn't turn up last time, did they? And I thought there was a chance they wouldn't turn up again. And in the end, it was a quite a tight game, I thought, and Millwall and Blackburn Rovers meeting at the Den, and I've been saying for a while that they had been playing really well at home. Then they had a really bad patch at home, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with Blackburn Rovers because Millwall, I keep saying they're going to win because they're at home, and lately they've not been doing it. Managerless Millwall managed to bring that that bad run at home to an end, and they managed to get back on track. And I think that massive confidence boost that Blackburn have had from all these wins, from all the run of the pitch going their way, finally came to an end. But it came to an end with a last ditch winner, didn't it? For Millwall, 90 plus 6 minutes, and you could almost hear the sigh of "oh my god" from the Blackburn fans. And I thought it was a good game. I really thought that was one of those games. You say, it's a dull 0-0. No, it wasn't. It wasn't heading for a dull 0-0. 59% possession to Millwall, so they did actually turn up at home this time, and they did play good football. 17 shots, pretty good, wasn't it? 4 of them on target. They're probably disappointed they couldn't get as many on target, but to be honest, the Blackburn's defence did play quite well, pushing them out to make sure that they couldn't get a good shot on target, certainly not a close one. 41% possession to Blackburn, 6 shots. They just couldn't quite get it together, Blackburn. The run of the green just wasn't with them. 1 of them on target. They would be hoping to get a couple, at least 2 or 3 on target from 6. They just didn't seem to be able to get in there and fire off quite as easy as we thought. Both defences were actually really good, and that was the error. That was the problem here. Millwall couldn't get a clear shot on target. They were shooting, but they couldn't get a clear shot at target, on target, quite that often, only 4 times, because Blackburn were defending resolutely. but so were Millwall. So Blackburn couldn't do it either. They could only made 6 shots, and only one of them was on target, because on the other side, Millwall were doing a damn good job in defence. So it was a really good defensive game by both teams, and you could just see that Millwall, if anybody, was going to nick it, and they did. 90 plus 6, 1-0 to Millwall. What did we say again? We said 2-1 to Blackburn. Oops. Let's go to Plymouth versus Middlesbrough, because this should be a little bit easier, shouldn't it? I should hope so. Well, this didn't go the way we thought it would. What did we say? We said Plymouth 1, Middlesbrough 4, Middlesbrough 3. Sorry, it was Plymouth 3, Middlesbrough 3. This was a game of poor defence. From the very first goal, Plymouth got the first goal, 38 minutes. Gibson, and I just looked at in horror at the Borough defence as they just stood around and watched the Plymouth guys want it more than what they did. But equally on the other side, you saw Plymouth just standing there. That last one, Plymouth defenders were on that side of the box, and there's a big gap for where did they think the ball was going to go if it came across here where there's no defenders and 2 Middlesbrough players. It's going to go in the back of the net. There's nowhere else they're going to shoot it. Poor defending. The whole thing was just poor defending. 45% possession to Plymouth, 12 shots, 5 on target, 3 goals. They'll be happy with those figures, absolutely, especially seeing as you look at where they are in the league before this 23rd. Borough, 55% possession, 17 shots, 6 on target, 3 goals. They'll be happy with that, but where was the defence? Both of them. Where were your defences? 3-3. Yeah. I think there wasn't that much in it. Borough had slightly edged it for me, but really slightly edged it. On another day, Borough probably would have won this one by 1 goal. However, it was certainly a reasonable result, I think. 6th place now, Borough, with 35 points. Equal with 7th place, West Brom. Plymouth are now 24th on 18, with Oxford on 18 and Cardiff on 18. So all the 3 bottom teams are on 18. Obviously, a really tough time now as Plymouth dropped from 23rd to 24th. Portsmouth, of course, as we saw, in 20th now on 20 points. And they do seem to be sort of getting a little bit of momentum underneath them. Hull City, yeah, they're getting a little bit of momentum as well, I think. But, they're not very consistent. Cardiff, we need to see a little bit more from them if they want to get out of it. Oxford, they have played really well right at the beginning. They just don't seem to be doing it now. And Plymouth, well, they've got to do something, because that team, I can't see 3 teams worse than them at the minute. Oxford are pushing it, but it's very, very close call. We'll go to QPR versus Preston then, shall we? Because we didn't get anything for that one. QPR Preston. We said 1-1. There's lots of people saying 1-1. A couple of 1-0s to QPR. 1-2-0 to QPR. It was 2-1 to QPR. So I'll give the person who said 2-0 a bit of a gold star there, because I was just looking at the red on 83 minutes. And we'll go to the game and see, why did we say 1-1? Because QPR managed to just nick this one, like some of you did actually say. Let's have a look. I'd call this a typical mid-table championship game. QPR 2, Preston 1, red card 83. Yeah, he made a meal of going down, didn't he? The guy only sort of... It was a bit of a coming together, but not enough to fall on the floor, surely, to God. Yeah, it went down a bit easier there. However, did it make any difference to the game? Well, I don't think it really did. QPR had gained momentum at that point. It was a pretty even game, to be honest. I think a draw probably would have been about right. However, before you start saying it, you know, Preston really didn't have any shots on at target, did they? Two shots, 42% possession to Preston, two shots at target, both of them on target, one of them in the net. Okay, why was I saying it could have been a draw? Because, to be honest, I didn't really see any great overpowering of shots from QPR. Certainly not from Preston, but I didn't see QPR as a massive threat. They were playing pretty okay. Not massively brilliant, not greatly technical, not highly technical. A few, yeah, they were passing a lot better and a lot neater with the passes, but yeah, they deserved to win. But I say on a different day, that could have been quite easily a draw. 58% possession to QPR, 17 shots at target, only 5 on target, which is slightly disappointing for a team that want to be in the mid-table, at least. And yeah, 2 and 2 for Preston. Yeah, they did deserve a win, and on the day, I suppose you would have expected it to be by about two goals, I should think. But like I say, on a different day, that I think Preston's defence did actually stand up quite well, and I think on a different day it could have been quite a resilient defence that would have stood up to a sort of 1-1 sort of game. But it was a QPR win. We did say a draw. Unfortunately, we don't get anything for that. However, did we? No, we got a 2-0 from someone. You can get half a gold star for that, I think. Sunderland versus Norwich next, and we said Sunderland 2, Norwich 1. It was indeed Sunderland 2, Norwich 1. So let's have a little look. Yeah, we really thought this was going to be quite a close game. Sunderland should really edge it at the Stadium of Light, shouldn't they? 2-1, we said it was 2-1. We get the correct result and the correct score. Yes, get in there. Another one. We're doing well today, aren't we? We did think that Norwich would put away some of this this dirty play that they've been playing of late, and that they'd start to play a bit of football on the ground, and they wouldn't quite be as bad as what they have been. And on the whole, I think they did. I thought the sending off was weird because he did sort of put his arm against him as he after he tackled him. The tackle wasn't a foul. I think it was more the hand that sort of swung out afterwards. I hope, because if it was for the foul, it wasn't. But 7 shots each, 51%. Well, 50% possession, 7 shots each, 4 shots on target each. This should have been 1-1, shouldn't it? Or 2-2. Well, 1-1 should have been really. But I look at this and I think 4 shots on target for Sunderland. To me, they edged it. I mean, even the passes, 408 passes to Sunderland, 402 to Norwich. This was like so even. You can't believe it. I just, how Sunderland won it. And I look at the game and I keep looking at it and I think they did deserve to win it. Absolutely. Their class. I mean, those 2 goals were class. I mean, really were. And the one-on-one with the goalkeeper, you could see how he was trying to just get the damn ball into the right sort of length with his stride, and he just couldn't get it to. He short pass tapped it twice to try and get it to roll at the right pace so he could shoot, and it just didn't come off, did it? But that would have been 3-1, and it would have been finished a lot sooner. 2-1 to Sunderland. We expected it to be. We'll collect a gold star for that one, won't we? Because that was exactly what we said it was going to be. And we'll go on to the Albion, which of course is not on that day; it's on the next day. Now, the Drawthorns. Everybody's thinking a draw. I think one or two people thought it'd be an Albion win, but only by 1-0. In the end, it was, I think, a rather convincing win, really. West Brom managed to actually play predominantly the better football. I don't think Bristol City really turned up. And that's the problem with Bristol City. They can turn up, or they just don't. And in this case, they didn't. 59% possession to West Brom, 17 shots at target, only 4 on target. Now, I would have thought running the game so well against a team that really didn't turn up, they should have got more than 4 on target. However, 2 goals out of those 4, pretty good. And they have been quite clinically perfect with their shots. They've been getting quite a big percentage of those on target in the back of the net. And once again, they've done the same. Bristol City, 41% possession, 8 shots. Yeah, not very good. 2 on target, no goals. They can't really complain. It was a poor game for them. West Brom did deserve to win it. I would argue they deserved to win it by 3 or 4. We said 1-1. Don't get anything from that. Please do like and subscribe. Please do click the bell. There'll be we'll keep on doing this while ever people look interested in the channel. So we do need a lot more subscribers to make it worthwhile doing hour-long video sessions for you all. So please do like and subscribe. John Esser Sports Channel over out for one more Championship review. Thank you very much.